In the midst of all the chaos that ensued after two earthquakes hit southeastern parts of Turkey and some parts of Syria, there were widespread reports that Christian Atsu was alive despite being buried under earthquake rubble. However, after an extensive wait, Christian Atsu is dead. The news has been confirmed that the 31-year-old former Newcastle player passed away earlier this morning, and he was pulled out of the rubble. Lifeless. His body was lifeless, and the news has emerged that Christian Atsu, Ghana's Black Stars player, is no more with us. The day before the earthquake struck, Christian Atsu had brought joy to the many fans of Hatay Sport by scoring the only goal in a pulsating game. This is how the manager of the team, Fatih Elek, captured it after the unfortunate incident. He was caught in an earthquake on his happiest day. This is literally a tragedy. While his time in Turkey with Hatay Sport got off to a very slow start, his final act ended on a high note. Atsu stepped off the bench and bent a free kick directly into the right corner of the net for his first and only goal in Turkey to give Hatay Sport a 1-0 win over Kasimpasa. Hours later, disaster struck. Atsu made just 3 appearances for Hatay Sport, with all 3 appearances coming off the bench. Not happy with the situation, Atsu planned his exit from the club. According to Elek, Atsu had already purchased a ticket to fly to Istanbul, then to France, in search of a new club. But that was when he was called on and delivered the winning goal. In the midst of celebrating the goal, Atsu changed his mind and decided to stay and not travel to France that night. According to his agent Nana Sechere, Atsu got to his apartment 20 minutes before the earthquake hit in the wee hours of February 6. While Atsu's time at Hatay Sport was brief, he spent 8 years playing for the likes of Newcastle, Everton, and AFC Bournemouth in the English Premier League after starring for FC Porto in the Portuguese League. Atsu's passing has triggered an outpouring of tribute from former teammates, former clubs, and high-profile personalities. Emmanuel Clote played with Christian Atsu at the 2013 AFCON held in South Africa, and his emotions were so raw he still couldn't comprehend the news.
Because it's more like Messi, very energetic, respectful, hardworking. I don't know. I can't describe him.
Former Ghana Football Association Vice President George Afriyie served on the Black Stars Management Committee board for much of Atsu's time with the Black Stars and had this to say.
It's a sad day for Ghana, Africa, and world football at large. As you are already aware, his contribution to football in Africa and then to a large extent in the whole of the world or in the world in general cannot be disputed. I mean, this is a young man who dedicated his whole life to football. Apart from that, his benevolent activities, his good and kindness to humanity and the society at large. I mean, the one that comes to mind was his contribution in making sure that inmates or prisoners are freed based on some monies or some fines imposed on them, which they've been incarcerated because of little fines and here and there. And so, for me, I think that he's paid his dues. He's paid his dues for football, and he's paid his dues for humanity. There are 2 crucial goals that I remember. One was in AFCON 2015, and then one was in the match against Egypt, the 6-1. That goal became because we knew that we needed to win handsomely, or we needed to win heavily in Ghana in order to have any chance in Cairo. So for me, that goal in Kumasi, Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and then also the one in Equatorial Guinea was so crucial for the success of our qualification to the World Cup, and then also to that of AFCON 2015 finals. Remember, he was adjudged the best player of the 2015 AFCON.
Head of Sports at Citi FM and Citi TV, Benjamin Ketia, has more on Atsu's time with the Black Stars.
It's a sad day for Ghana as a country. especially for the football fraternity, because if you remember Christian Atsu, I remember he was discovered by former Black Stars head coach Christian Atsu. This was around 2012. He was playing his football for FC Porto at the time, but nationally he was virtually unknown. And then he burst onto the scene in his debut against Lesotho, and he scored in that game, I remember. From there, he began to grow in leaps and bounds as far as the national team was concerned. He went on to become a prominent figure, especially during the 2014 World Cup. Ghana eventually was eliminated in the group stage, but he played a prominent role in that World Cup. He played literally every game. And then he really came into his own at the 2015 AFCON when in that game against Guinea where we won 3-0, he scored an absolute belter of a goal. It was eventually awarded the goal of the tournament. He was named player of the tournament as well. And if you look at him, he's gone from one step to another higher step to another higher step, because he signed for Chelsea. Never mind that he didn't play any games for Chelsea, but it was from there he played for Vitesse, he played for, I believe, Everton, AFC Bournemouth, Newcastle. So he's a true son of the Premier League, and all those were based on the things that he did while he was with the national team. And so he will be sorely missed by his national teammates, especially if you follow his activity on social media. He was really good friends with Mubarak Waka, so they were always poking fun at each other on social media. He was also very good friends with former captain of the team, Asamoah Gyan. And so I'm sure that a lot of his teammates, those who have encountered him, those who knew him from afar, are all going through a hard time right now. But the good part is that he's a man who served well. His charity work, always unparalleled, would bring down football boots, kits, groceries. He would help in whatever way he could in his community. And so a great son of Ghanaian football has fallen, and I believe that we must do whatever we possibly can to preserve his memory.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a statement that stated in part that the embassy is currently making the necessary arrangements with the assistance of the government of Turkey to have the body transported to Ghana for burial. The public will be updated on further developments. Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo tweeted, "I extend sincere, heartfelt condolences to the widow, children and family of our fellow Ghanaian, Christian Atsu, on the sad news of his death. Ghana football has lost one of its finest personnel and ambassadors, one who will be difficult to replace. He will be sorely missed." The statement from the Ghana Football Association read in part as follows. The Ghana Football Association has received the sad news of the recovery of the body of Christian Atsu from the rubble following the earthquake that struck southern and central Turkey on Monday, February 6, 2023. May his soul rest in peace. Football legend Asamoah Gyan served as Black Stars captain during Atsu's time with the four-time African champions, and he tweeted a simple message, "RIP brother," with a picture of the late Atsu on his Twitter page. Fellow Black Stars teammates Mubarak Wakasu, Michael Essien, Samuel Inkum, and Fatal Dauda also tweeted commiserating messages for their fallen brother. Atsu, the talented winger, can be described as one who gave his all for the national team, the Black Stars. A national servant, a husband, a father, a brother, a philanthropist, and an athlete. Christian Atsu wore all these hats during his lifetime, and he will indeed be missed. For Citi Newsroom, Yao Ejeminta reporting.